New Things Day, comics, books, something else. The else is not suspenseful. I'm going to show it now, so there's no suspense involved. It's not anything special. I picked up Simpsons 4th season on DVD because among the other things I collect, TV shows on DVD is one of them. I had 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, needed to fill a slot. I need to work on finishing that series up. I guess I can't finish it up if it's still going. Ridiculous, it's still going. Comic book time. Deathstroke Rebirth #1. Picked this up on a whim off the shelf. It's kind of damaged. So, yeah. It was the only one on the shelf. I wanted to read it. I opened it up and looked through it, and I really wanted to read it. So, I'll read it and see how it is. And if I like it, I'll buy another one when more come in next week. Next up, all new, all different Avengers Annual #1. The Fan Fiction World of Miss Marvel. And I would be, oh boy. You know, I was asked if I wanted this. I was asked, she said to me, my shop said to me, do you want this annual? Are you an annual guy? And I feel like if you're a person who has a bin, and gets subscriptions from a store, if you get every book, unless you specify that you don't want the annual, sticking the shop with an annual to put on their shelf is awful. I feel like that's a horrible thing to do because nobody's going to go buy an annual off the shelf usually. And I would have done that. This thing looks awful. I don't like this at all. I don't like Ms. Marvel. I don't like the cartoon characters of this. I don't like what's going on. From something that I don't like is going on to something that I love is going on, even though it's ending, is Vision 10. Absolutely love this book. Everything about it. And I'm okay with it ending. I'd rather have 12 issues of what could be a masterful storyline, depending on how he ends it, as opposed to 30-ish of just meandering around a point and not getting to anything. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. #8. I may be the only human being still reading this. Even though I got this for my girlfriend initially, I enjoy the storylines going on. I enjoy the book itself. Even though I'm behind on their show, I still enjoy this. All new, all different Avengers 13. Civil War 2 crossover. I love this cover. It's a great Vision cover there. Old Man Logan, #10. The Last Ronin, Part 2. Just such a solid book all around. It reminds me of the story, and itself doesn't remind me of it. The writing, nothing about it reminds me of it, other than the fact that it's so solid, I don't even want to talk about it. And that it was kind of how Wade's Daredevil run was. Well, I think it was Wade and Samney. Their run of Daredevil, the first one before it got renumbered. I thought it was phenomenal, but it was so solid every week, it was hard to talk about. I think it's the same with this. It's such a solid, just cohesive story. There's not much to talk about, but it's good. Deadpool and the Mercs for Money, #2. One of my all-time favorite D-list characters, Radioactive Man. Loved him when he was with the Thunderbolts. Let's see what's going on with this. Scarlet Witch #9, Civil War 2 crossover with Quicksilver here. I think this book is still continuing. I don't think this book is going to have a lot of dialogue in here. I'm excited about that. Maybe they're going to flesh out some of the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver sibling issues. Really glad to see this book back. I don't know if I missed an issue or if I just it took a break, but Ringside #6. If you like professional wrestling and you like comics, this is a great book. It covers kind of the indie scene of wrestling. There's a dramatic storyline along with it. Covers kind of retired wrestlers, talks about the business of wrestling. Some very insider, I say, because now with the internet and dirt sheets, there's not much insider anymore. Everybody kind of knows the terms, but I really enjoy this book. I'm a big fan of this book. Action Comics #961. Had to go with that cover because Clark Kent. Superwoman #1. Love the Terry Dodson cover on here. Love it. There are a lot of hatred getting thrown around my shop about this book. Lois doesn't need to be Superman. You don't need to talk to me. That's how I feel about it. I'll get on the book because I like Lois Lane. I'll get on the book because I like the idea. I'll get on the book because I like super books. Don't talk to me if you're going to spew your hatred at me, because I don't have it. I don't have your hatred. I only have hatred for you, spewing hatred at me about books that you know nothing about. Throw hatred at me. Wonder Woman #4. And I like the symmetry / not really symmetry on this cover. I usually hate black and white covers, but I really like the looks of this. I'm a big fan of this cover. The other one was good too, but I had to opt for this one because of the line work. It's gorgeous. That would make oh my god, that would make a great tattoo. Tell you what, that might be the Wonder Woman I get. I might not get everything around it, but I mean that's a good it's a good candidate for Wonder Woman. I'll have to keep that in mind. And lastly, Batman Detective Comics, number 938. That is all for comics. Time for books. Only a short stack. I'm trying to get out of here fast. I'm trying to get out of here so fast I have shoes on. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not making that up. I really do have shoes on. I was almost heading out the door. Oh, another thing I bought, which I'm not going to bring in and show on the screen. I bought a bike carrier for my car. Does that interest you? A bicycle carrier? No, nobody cares. Why? Why talk about it? Why? But I need to go set that up. That's why I'm trying to get out of here. That's why I have shoes on. First up is Around the World in 2,000 Pictures, published by Doubleday, hardback, no dust jacket. A little bit of spine wear here. Around the World, in quotations, and Around the USA, quotations, now in one volume. Edited by A. Milton Runyon and Vilma Burgain. Revised edition is copyright 1961, so it looks like this came out in 61 from 2 books that were published in 54 and 56 by Doubleday, it seems. And just a lot of interesting pictures that I don't know if have ever made their way around anywhere, because I haven't seen a lot of them. You know, some of these older books you see them, it's a lot of stock photography, a lot of pictures that were basically just free reign for the Associated Press, but a lot of interesting ones that I've never seen before. Next up, Margaret Sits It Out. Ooh, things dust, by the way, no dust jacket, hardback. It also looks like it's written on here. It looks like somebody wrote the title. It looks like somebody almost colored over it with brown and wrote the title on it. Margaret. Can't be Margaret. Margaret. Margaret Sits It Out by George Simenon. Translated from the French by Margaret Ludwig. This is published 1941. There's a first American edition of this, and I know nothing about it. Nothing. Although, if it's anything similar, I know this is crazy. The only other book I've ever read that was translated from French to English was Albert Camus's The Stranger, one of my favorite books of all time. If it's even close to that, worth it. Next up, Real Dogs. Hardback. No dust jacket, although there is a nice little dog here. Is that a schnauzer? Some type of schnauzer? Decal edge on the, very slight decal edge on the facing side here. Oh, it says Grandma inside of it. In marker. Grandma. Somebody got this for their grandmother. This is an anthology of short stories, I imagine, about dogs. Copyright 1926 by Henry Holt and Company. These should be interesting. If that the first story is called Allegheny. Let's see who some of these authors are. See if we know any of them. John Trainer Foote, Ernest Thompson Seton, Albert Panson. Apparently, this is a book dedicated to only authors that use all 3 names. Will Leamington Comfort, James Oliver Curwood, Ellis Parker Butler, Herbert Ravel Sass. I know none of these people. First one's called Allegheny. If you name your dog Allegheny, it deserves to be in a book. And I mean smashed between the pages, because that's a stupid dog name. If anybody's dog is named Allegheny, I apologize. Bullets for Macbeth by Marvin Kaye. Hardback with a dust jacket. Little rip on the dust jacket here. This is a book club edition. I believe those were all the book club editions I've had so far. I believe late 50s, early 60s. I'm going to say this is a 1959 book edition. Published by Saturday Review Press. Way off. I am off my game today. 1976 this book came out. I wouldn't know. I would have never guessed that in my life. Know nothing about it. Marvin Kaye has been a reporter, an editor, and an entertainer. In addition to his Hillary Quayle, we're done. Next, we have Roger Bax's To If by Sea. It's a Harper novel of adventure and suspense. Another book club edition. This one, pages are a little more aged. I would have to say this is a 1965 offering. And it is Roman numerals, meaning we're going to pass. Pass. It's a hardback. Dust jacket's seen a lot better days. A lot of rips up top, a lot of rips on the back here, but front's still interesting. Very minimalistic art on it. Next up, we have Douglas Adams. That Douglas Adams, So Long and Thanks for All the Fish. This is the 4th book in the Hitchhiker's trilogy. Yes, you get the joke now. Thank you. Thank you. Book club edition on this. I don't know. I'm so off my game today. 73. Gotta go 73. So Long, Thanks for All the Fish, published by Harmony Books. 1984. I'm done. If I didn't love books as much as I did, I would have thrown this over my shoulder in a very dramatic way to emphasize my anger at my inability to guess these years. Next, we have Okapi Fever, a novel by Felipe Diol. Nope, that definitely was not pronounced correctly. Felipe, you fill in the blank. Diol. Felipe Diol is a Frenchman. He's published one previous novel, something in French, and several non-fiction books on underwater exploration, among them 4,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Okapi Fever is his first novel to be translated to English. Well, I'm sold already. Hardback, very nice dust jacket here, very nice art on it, still very clean, very, very complete. A couple tears at the bottom of the top, but nothing too serious. Book club edition as well. Might as well just throw a number out because I've been wrong all the time. 1973 is what I'm going with. 73, published by the Viking Press on this. The book itself, copyright 1963. This translation 1965. Next, we have Jessica Mitford's The American Way of Death. Sounds awful. She kind of looks like Peggy from Mad Men on the back. I like the art. I imagine that's the art. I like the cover image, which I imagine is, in my mind, it's funeral flowers and a money sign made out of them, because we're all about metaphors here. I don't think that's a metaphor. Published by Simon & Schuster, it appears 1963. I would be correct. There was no price, or I would have guessed. The American Way of Death, Jessica Mitford. I don't know if this is nonfiction. I know nothing about this. Oh, it's about the funeral industry in 1963. Wonder if this was the precursor to I'm never going to pull her name in 1,000 years. She did the book Packing for Mars. She did the book Stiff. Nope, never gonna pull it. But this woman did a book called Stiff. It was all about after death and what happens to your body, the studies of death. Bodies they'll go to science, all kind of things like that. I don't know who it is. Oh, it's gonna bother the shit out of me, son of a bitch. I have no idea where any of those books are to even peek them on the shelves. Trying to peek. I don't know. Moving on. It's too long already. I got shoes on. A Pocket Full of Rye, a novel by A.J. Cronin. We have the twin front and back covers. Hardback, dust jacket's a little messed up, but we can handle it. Book club edition, I'm so off today. I don't know. 1963. Published by Little Brown and Company. 1969, my brother up top. But I was closer. At least I was in the right decade. Next up, Fool's Apple by Sarah Cardiff, a novel. It's a nice watercolor on here. I think that's watercolor. I might not know what painting is. Fool's Apple, Sarah Carter novel. This is, well, let's see. It was sold by Gimbels for $1. It looks like cover price may have been $5.95. So this is the first time I'm actually going to get to play the game. Cover price $5.95. I got to go 19. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Say 1972. I feel like it's too high. Published by Random House. 1971. I'll kindly invite you to suck it. Not you. Not you. My previous performance. I apologize if you thought I told you to suck it. I'm sorry. My apologies. Second to last of this video. I still have so many more. This is the Music Lovers Encyclopedia, revised and edited by Deems Taylor and Russell Kerr, compiled by Rupert Hughes. Hardback, no dust jacket. Hard to open for some reason. Containing and pronouncing and defining dictionary of terms, instruments, etc., including a key to the pronunciation of 16 languages, many charts, an explanation of construction of music for the uninitiated, pronouncing biographical dictionary, the stories of the operas, and numerous biographical and critical essays by distinguished authorities, compiled by the, holy shit, that is the subtitle of this book. That's the subtitle. That from there up is the subtitle. No, you don't get that. You're not allowed to tell me everything that's in the book. No. Holy shit. There's a lot of shit in this book. Published by Garden City Publishing Company in Garden City, New York, 1939. Printed at Country Life Press in Garden City, New York. 1939. So, needless to say, you're not going to find Mick Jagger in here. You might. He's old. You're not going to find Van Halen in here. You're not going to find your Bret Michaels. You're not going to find your Peter Cetera or your Jimmy Pankow or your Terry Kath, all members of Chicago. But who knows? I guarantee you'll find some classical composers in here. I couldn't name 5 musicians of 1939. Nope, couldn't do it. And we're 18 minutes into this video, and I've lost interest. There's no way you haven't. Next up, it's a gorgeous, very good condition. This is The Wall, a novel by John Hershey, or John Hersey, however he wants his name pronounced. Hardback, and the dust jacket on this is pretty crisp. To be honest, I mean, a little problems on the edge that from normal wear and tear, but it's pretty clean. No, doesn't look like there's any price on this cocksucker. It's printed in the USA. Let's see, published 1950. Nope, sorry. Published first in the 1950, reprinted 13 times. This is the 15th printing, July 1980. That's why the dust jacket looks so good, because they used the same art, but it is a 1980 printing. Don't know what it's about. I don't know. Looks like there's some weird structured dialogue writing in here. But that's it. You're bored. I'm bored. I'm apologizing for boring you. Oh, sometimes I hate myself. Which is all the time. Thank you for watching, especially if you made it this far. Genuinely, thank you. If you put up with my bullshit on here, it's more than a lot of people in this world can say. I don't blame them. I don't have mirrors for that reason, because I can't put up with my shit. Thank you. been seen.